What's going on, guys? How's it been? It's been a while since I've actually done one of these Q&As, and last week I said I was going to do one, and here we are. There's a lawnmower going off in the background. Hold on, let me see if I could correct that. Hopefully I got that figured out. Now, questions. So you guys, asked you guys last week to give me some questions, and I'll answer them. And here I am, getting ready to answer some of your questions. Juice asked, who was your role model growing up and why? Maybe Jason David Frank, who was known as Tommy the Power Ranger on, well, Power Rangers. He was the Green Ranger, and looked up to him probably because, I don't know, he just seemed more badass than most, and his storyline was really good. And as a person, it turned out to be okay. I don't know, I don't really have a real role model, but someone I looked up to was him, probably the most. I grew up my hair just like him too, actually, so that was cool. Phony Thug asked, how is the community coordinator going for you at Respawn? It's going pretty good so far. Doing a lot, trying to keep the community going, and what that is involving Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, our own forums, Instagram, and we're trying to get other stuff like on Twitch going, and I don't know, some other areas we're trying to figure out how to use those platforms and just spread the word of Titanfall and Respawn, basically. But yeah, no, it's going pretty well. Everybody who I've interacted with online already has been really supportive and all that stuff. So great community that I fall into, and apparently they already like me so much they have sent me 2 bags of, or 10 pounds worth of gummy bears, because I posted something on their forums about me finding gummy bears at work, and apparently they liked it so much that a couple of them actually sent me gummy bears, a 5-pound bag of gummy bears, and they sent me 2 of those. So now I have 10 pounds of gummy bears sitting at my house, or sitting at my desk at work. Yeah, that's pretty bad for me. I like it, but when I'm trying to cut down on weight, yeah, that does not help. Ian asked, how are you? I'm doing good. And what do you think about the Apple iPhone X or iPhone 10, and am I buying? No, I'm not buying the new iPhone. I'm not a big fan of Apple and their products anymore, since the crazy man that was once in charge, aka Steve Jobs, is no longer there. There's no longer any more innovation at that company. They don't really do much. Samsung, on the other hand, have been absolutely killing it with their phones, and I don't know, I've supported Samsung and the Android brand for a lot longer than I have with Apple. I thank Apple for what they did to phones, because if it wasn't for Apple, we would not have this clean interface of a phone. We would still be having the flip phones and touch buttons probably. But overall, they, like, a lot of stuff that the iPhone X has now, or has been announced for, is I already have in my phone. The only thing I see is the new is the Face ID, but even then, that's using the tracking system which the Wii and the Xbox Connect used, and when there's a glare on the screen, it really screws up the interface. So I'm not usually how those ones react to it. I haven't seen how the iPhone works yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work the same way, where the light's going to interfere with the sensors, and it's going to be harder for you to open the your phone up just by looking with your face. So I don't know. Craig asked, do I have a favorite actor or actress? Actor or actress? I would have to say Emma Stone, maybe, as of right now. Probably Emma Stone. She hasn't done much lately that I could think of, but whenever she acts, she does really well. And she's a huge nerd as well, especially when it comes to Spice Girls, apparently. But yeah, probably favorite actress right now. If I had to go with actor, I don't know, there's just too many good actors out there too. I could tell you directors would probably be Joss Whedon, or even Edgar Wright, James Gunn. Basically anyone who touched the cinematic universe of Marvel. But then again, I've always liked Joss Whedon back from Buffy days and Serenity, Firefly. Devon asked, what was your first video game console you got when I was young? My first console, the NES, the Nintendo NES. That was actually my brother's console. I remember that. And he let me borrow it for a weekend. And then when he came back to get it, I didn't let him take it back. And he just said, okay, well, I'll just keep it for another weekend. And every time he came back, I did not give it up. And then he just eventually just left it to me. So that was basically how I got my first console. And I was stuck on video games ever since. And now I work on video games. So there you go. So the first one was NES. I can tell you the second one was the Sega Genesis, and then after that was the N64, PS2, and then from PS2 I got my own job and all that stuff, so I was able to buy the PS3 and Xbox 360, and I've had every single console since. Oh, and the Wii, except for the Wii U and Switch. I don't have the Switch either, but I really do plan on getting Switch soon because a lot of the games that are coming out now are really good. Before it was just Zelda, just that, but now they have a big enough library for me to care. So there's that. Mr. Witherspoon asked, what music do I listen to nowadays? It really just bounces from my moods. I actually have a lot of playlists on Google Play that I just listen to. From old throwback stuff like ZZ Top and Sade and stuff like that to Cascade. Cascade is really my biggest like artist I listen to the most, but I listen to him a lot. But then a lot of the electronic trance and all that stuff, like Armin van Buuren. Who else? We got Dead Mouse out there. But yeah, it just all bounces back and forth. Depends on what I feel like that day. I listen to Smash Mouth and Sugar Ray. Yeah, it's just whatever. I listen to classical too. Kevin asked, did I lose weight? No, I actually gained weight, and that's what I'm trying to work on, is losing it. Probably looked like I lost weight because of the lens on the camera. But no, I did not. I actually gained it. I've basically given up sugar, cheese, bread, and beer, or alcohol. So, yeah. Macho Madness asks, what other brand name cameras have I used in the past? I've used all of them. But you know what I'm thinking about? I've probably used Sony the most. This camera's still pretty dead. Found out though, because I got my other camera I used from work, if I could figure out what was wrong with this one. This is a Sony camera. So it's not the same one as mine, but it's the bigger version of it. A7S Mark II. This is one I use a lot at work. So they're like, just go ahead and take it and see if you can figure out what's wrong with your camera. So thankfully, because of that camera, I was able to fully figure out it is this lens that broke on me. And so the body's fine. It's just the lens. So I gotta change the lens, and yeah, I gotta figure that out later. But I'm in no rush right now because the car show season has ended basically, and so yeah, I'm not doing much with that camera at the moment. And after last week, I realized this works well, just as good. So I'm using my Samsung phone now for the forthcoming future. But when it comes to car shows, I'll probably finally go back and get another lens and use this one again because this one still shoots in 4K. They both shoot in 4K, but this one's still a little bit more crispier. Sony most of the times. Right now, what I'm recording on right now, since I don't have that camera working, is the Canon. Hoodnig100 asked, what kind of hardcore action game would you recommend? Hardcore action game? I would probably still have to say, oh man, action game. Just a pure action game. Maybe Vanquish or Bayonetta. Those two games are really good for just pure action. They were a long time ago, but they still hold up pretty well. So yeah, I would say those if you want to just play an action game. Twan Taylor asks, I thought you guys were Raiders fans. I am. But since we have the LA Rams, that means I'm still a Raiders fan. No, it's even more of a Raiders fan now because they're in Vegas. So that means I want to get season tickets. Rams though, Jessica got tickets for just for the season opener, so of course she went. She went with some of her friends that day, so yeah, and then I just of course went to the beach that day. Speaking of Vegas, Lex 7000 asked, what was the most I ever won in Vegas? The most I ever won was probably a grand. I think it was a grand. Yeah, it was a grand. It was on my last day of Vegas. I forgot few years ago when I went just by myself on my own because I just wanted to get the hell out of here. And Monte Carlo and a game of War. So I was playing War all night, and I like War because it has the highest odds of winning, because there's basically a 50% chance of winning compared to everything else is lower, and it has, you don't have to think that much. So there's that. I got all the way up to $1,000, and I was already really tired, and I had to get up early the next morning to actually head home. So I just said, screw it, this is gonna be my last bet, and so I threw it all back, all 1,000 on the table, and then lost it. So there's that. Cameron Brown asked, do I have a favorite rapper now or back in the day? In the past though, it's been basically NWA and Eminem, Beastie Boys, you know, the usual suspects. Jimmy asked, do you still use my GoPro camera? Yes, I would. However, I don't know where I put them. Honestly, I don't know where they went. I have them somewhere, I just don't know where. And I was thinking, oh, they'll turn up one day. They haven't turned up yet, so I would still use them because they're still really good and they're really awesome to use, especially for time lapses. But yeah, I have no idea where they went. Rich asked, Jason, are you disappointed you hardly traveled this year like you said you wanted to? Yes and no. And I wanted to, of course, I always want to travel more, but this year gave me the opportunity to be the community coordinator, so I was really focused more on that once I got in a position where I would eventually get the opportunity, and once I got the opportunity to get it, I was kind of focused more on that. So, am I disappointed? Yeah, to a little bit, just a little bit, not much. So, I think it was worth it. But hopefully next year I'll start traveling a little bit more, especially if it's on company time. Who knows? We'll see though. Not too disappointed, but it's still on my radar. Santino asked, what's the best part about working for Respawn? No, yeah, best part working about Respawn is just the people there. Everybody's like, you're surrounded by so many creative people and who are motivated to do things. It just makes you motivated to continue doing better and your best and continue doing better. So I think that's the best part about it, because everybody wants to do good, wants to create a really kick-ass game and all that stuff. So wrapping up on the Titanfall stuff, and then with Star Wars, we're still working on Star Wars, and that game looks great so far. So, and lastly, I just want to say thank you all for the birthday wishes from a couple of weeks ago. I haven't really got to talk to you guys because we've been doing nothing but car shows as of late. So quickly want to say thank you guys for all those birthday wishes, and I am 31 for those who've been wondering and asking. Yeah, so there we go. Hopefully I'm back on the vlogs now. Hopefully I can get them out there once a week, and once in a while I'll just take a break because of life and just things get in the way sometimes. So yeah, once again, thank you all for watching and asking these questions. I like answering some of these, and yeah, follow me here if you're not already following me, or subscribe. Please do so, like, and make sure you follow Respawn too, because I might be showing up on there too, who knows, on all of Respawn's account there. They have their Facebook, they have a Twitter, Instagram, and their I don't know, other places. I'll link it right after this. But yeah, guys, thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys all next time. Remember to stay positive, be happy, and always have fun, and catch you next time.